Hey, thanks for dropping by. My name is Mike Paris, and we're going to talk about affiliate marketing as it relates to you trying to sell another product or you trying to maybe build your own list, an email list for a newsletter you're building or a subscription service you're trying to do. Ultimately, if you're going to do either building a new list or to get affiliate marketing working for you, you need to dominate Google. And I don't care what anybody else says. Until you can figure out a way to get as many eyeballs on what you're trying to say, you're just spinning your tires. You're spending an awful lot of time doing nothing. But you have to start in the right place. Now, there's going to be a lot of information in a short period of time, so you may want to bookmark this video, come back to it later and watch it a second time. There's going to be a lot of phraseology that I'm going to mention quickly, and because I only have so much time to be able to do that with a YouTube video, for example. So let's start at the very beginning. Don't start spending all your time thinking about all these great niches if you haven't done some research. You need to know, what do people type into a search engine? Instead of you calling it, Willie's Wicked Widgets, would somebody ever actually type in Willie's Wicked Widgets? Of course not. It may be the greatest widget in the world, but nobody's going to think to type that in. So you need to do some research on widgets and see what people search for. In my case, I want to show you how you can actually dominate a very, very busy sector. Okay, I went to the Google keyword research tool and typed in stock alerts. You can see stock alerts here. So I do the research on it, and it shows me this. It shows me the results of, for example, in the month of May 2009, under the word stock alerts, 9,000 searches. Oh, not too bad. 12,000 for just the word stock alert by itself. If you look further down, stock, 24 million, stock quotes, 450,000. So there could be some serious activity with this word, this phrase, stock alerts. So it's my beginning. But I want something else. I'm in Canada, so I'm going to do stock alerts, but I'm going to put a prefix there and call it Canadian stock alerts. So I do my research, and well, wouldn't you know, this is a busy, busy sector. 36 million pages have relevance to Canadian stock alerts. Well, I built the blog based on the title, the keyword phrase, Canadian stock alerts. Now here's the after effect. As I do the research, number one on this page is Canadian stock alerts. Now you click on it and that's the actual blog. Okay, so not only is it on page one, it is dominating page one. Canadian stock alerts, the blog, is number one on page one of 36 million pages. Number two is an actual article that I wrote for Go Articles. It is number two on that page. So I'm obviously dominating. This is a social bookmarking site that you'll get used to hearing more about later that also points to Canadian stock alerts. Okay, so I have the 1, 2, and 3 position. I skip down. Oh, there's Toronto's Globe and Mail. Yeah, I'm actually ahead of them by three spots. Here's another article that I wrote called Canadian Stock Alerts Century Mining. You see, I'm keeping the prefix always the same, Canadian Stock Alerts, and then I add the actual subject matter. In this case, it's a junior mining company. Okay, so I am actually dominating page one of Google in my particular niche. Okay, now the blog itself does not look fancy, and the reason I'm showing you this is it's more important to learn how to get to page one than to spend all your time learning how to do graphics and all of those funky little things that are greatly important. I agree, design and all of that, it has its place. Now, there's no argument, but if you can do graphics really well but have no understanding of how to get to page one, hello, it's completely irrelevant. You're never going to get found anyway. So learn how to get there first, then build your blog. Learn how the tools of the keyword research and understanding that I'm going to need to write articles with the same title as my blog. And then I'm going to have to do videos with the same title as my blog. So here is my blog itself. Not fancy, but it's on page one. Obviously, I showed you that. Now, you notice that, well, that's a little Twitter thing, but in the blog itself, right at the very top, you'll notice that it says, follow me on Twitter. Okay? If you're building blogs today, make sure you have a Twitter account. We're going to get into that later. It's hugely important because Twitter is going to actually dominate media space for the next 5 years. So you should definitely consider that. As I mentioned, there's the article. Now here's a video. Now the video you're watching now doesn't have me in it. I'm just talking behind the screenshots. But you can do video. People love a fireside chat video. People love people who just seem real. Make it too slick and too noisy and too distracting, hey, they're gone. They're not paying attention. Here's the video related to, there's the title again, Canadian Stock Alerts. And in my little resource box over here, when somebody sees it, they can have a link. Always make sure your URL goes first in your description box because it'll be linked. And I click on that, and guess what? It takes me right to my blog. So articles point to my blog, and you can click on, because people may not find your blog right off the top. They may find the article first. Let the article point back to the blog. Let the video point back to the blog, etc. So you have all these incoming links that are crossing over, and Google is saying in their logistical thinking, this is very important. We have all these links coming from all these sites related to the same keyword phrase, Canadian Stock Alerts. You see what I'm saying here? So you can understand where Google's logic pays a dividend here, because I have continuity in everything I'm doing. Now, let's get to the reality of it. You figured out how to get to page 1. I've shown you. You don't have to be in a very small niche. You can actually challenge 36 million pages, as I did. 36 million pages, and I've got number 1, number 2, number 3, virtually dominating a page 1. So if you're in a smaller niche, 5 million pages, you will annihilate the competition. But here's the thing. If you have a blog, and you can do this successfully, and I've shown you that I've done that, why can't you do 10 blogs in 10 totally different niches? Why can't you do 20 blogs? You know what? If you pay attention and have some serious commitment, you can actually create 50 blogs in totally different niches, and you can dominate in each one. Now, here comes the power. 50 blogs. My goodness. Let's say this blog that you've done your research on can generate $100 a week for you. Well, that doesn't sound like very much money. I mean, $100 a week, nobody's going to be able to live on that. Why bother doing it at all? That's the whole point. $100 a week times 52 weeks is $5,000 a year. Now let's extrapolate that and build 10 blogs. And once you've done them, they sit out there and they're working for you 24/7, right? The idea now is I can actually build 10 and 20 and 30 and 50 blogs, do the research, and they're all working 24/7. They grow organically through the search engines. You've done all your work properly. Google will never blow you off because you've built it by step by step by step. You're not paying to be there. You have organic growth. So this is really going to work for you. But I've got articles to write, and you've got to write them yourself. And I've got videos to do, and that's cool. That's cool. That's going to be very, very informative for you and get people pointing to your niche. The problem is, if I get up to 10 and 20 and 30 blogs, this is where I start to stall. I can do all that stuff, but I need help now, because my constraint is it takes too long to load all this stuff. And that's where I come to. You need a little automation help at the end of the day. You can get to page 1, but you want to do 50 blogs, ta-da, this is what you need. This is all you need. Once you've figured out how to get there properly, you need brute force SEO. This is Peter Drew's stuff. He's a genius guy. He's in Australia. And he builds tools specifically to what I'm talking about. So when you write an article, for example, as you look down his website here, of course now I'll never find it, as you look down, he has software tools in here that will help you with your RSS feeds. Instead of you spending the time doing it, he will automate the process and actually submit to 10 or 20 or 50 RSS directories by automation. You don't have to do the work. You've written an article. Now you want to put it on one article directory site. Well, why don't you put it on a dozen of them? Yeah, but it takes too much time. Not with automation. You put it into his system, and he distributes it through automation into 12 directories. This is the power. This is what we choose not to do. Well, I don't want to do that. That's going to cost me a couple of dollars. How much is it costing you to spend all the time doing it? And this is where we have to saw off a little bit. So we've proven you can get to number 1. But if you want to do 10 and 20 and 50 blogs and make some of that 6-digit income you hear people talking about, I've shown you that what you need to do to get there. But to get there quickly and really take the time away that it takes to do all this grunt work, you need to use some of Peter's tools. And Workforce SEO, in my opinion, is the best. You can load videos into many video sites all through automation. You don't have to sit there and wait 40 minutes for a video to load. He does all of that. So for a small fee, I think you're going to be impressed with what it does. I don't even call it brute force SEO. I call it brute force media. You will dominate the media when you start using some of this automation. You will actually annihilate the niche that you're in. So there you have it. I've given you most of the stuff that I know, and I've taken to page 1 in Google. But if you really want to accelerate the process, you need to go to 20 and 30 and 50 blogs. I mean, really. Once you've done it once, you know you can duplicate that 20 and 30 times. But at this point, when you get to that level, you need some serious automation tools to help you out. And I can't think of one better than Peter Drew's Brute Force SEO. I believe there's a link over there in the resource box that'll help you out with that. Thanks for joining us, and when next time we talk, I'll probably be talking about Twitter marketing. Have yourself a great day.